The Fearless Launching Show was created to answer the question, how can I launch my big idea to the world in the most simple, straightforward way possible and reach more of the right people? I'm your host, Ann Samoylov, and I've been helping 6- and 7-figure business owners launch for over a decade. And while I love geeking out about improving launches, new launch strategies, what's working, what's not working, I'm also obsessed with exploring the heart, the mind, the challenges of running your own business. And that's what we're going to do each and every week. I want to show you how to launch that course or coaching program or other creative work and navigate the journey of being an online entrepreneur. So if you're ready for some new perspectives, some new stories around launching, well, I can't wait to share those with you. Let's get into today's episode. This week, I'm talking about the hardest thing I've had to do all year. Now, truthfully, this episode should have been named What to Know Before You Step Away from Your Business, because then maybe if I had done this maybe last year, then I wouldn't be recording this year. So what exactly was the hardest thing I've had to do this year? It's not walking back into the visual effects industry, relearning the technical processes, which I did, and managing and leading the team to deliver our show on time, on budget. It wasn't even the long hours to make that happen, or the demanding projects, or wrapping both of those up. And yeah, it wasn't any of that, even though that was all challenging stuff for me. It wasn't any of that. It's actually right now, as I'm restarting, as I'm turning my eye on the business, restarting everything in this world. My opt-ins and funnels were all running all year long. And if I'm being honest, though, I wasn't checking them as often as I should have. I wasn't looking at the stats or the data. All my systems were running fine, but I was also paying for them while not really tracking anything. So the tools were all good, systems were all good, but I really had avoided touching anything as much as possible. That said, let's just start right here, because I think the kind of issue goes back to something that I didn't even know was just going to happen, regardless if I really paid attention or not. I ignored the voice that was starting to daydream about a break or doing something different. I just ignored it. So don't do what I did, because suddenly you might wake up like I did and see that you really put nothing in place to keep things going productively, or someone in place to monitor things and get someone on board to help you step back into it when you were ready. And instead of just walking away from it, in a lot of respects, put something in place so that you're growing and you're adding on to that with the other projects. I just got so engulfed in these other projects that I was working on that I was like, not doing the podcast. And I put myself on ignore, or the out of office button, or away from keyboard, AFK. When you mosey off to other projects like I did, there's always that chance that everything you built will float away from your brain too, even if it's working. Another important part of taking a break that I thought I was doing at the beginning was to be intentional. Like, I was listening to my voice. I was being really methodical about it. And I was also not really saying, okay, here's what's going to happen. Here's the time frame. And then I didn't make a plan for myself to come back in. Honestly, I feel like I took the break before I even said I was taking the break. So plan for it if you can. Now, the hardest thing, back to that, is coming back, remembering what systems worked, why I'd chosen them, which ones I no longer needed. And in some regards, this was great, because I got to ask that question again with a fresh brain, without all the things like, oh, I've learned this and I set this up in there. So in many ways, I've had to just go through everything and ask, is this still relevant? Do I still want to be offering this? Does this tool work? Is it worth the move to this other platform? Do I need this product? Do I need this thing that I'm paying for every single month? Is this unnecessary? Is this overpriced? Is the time frame on this offer the right time frame? Does this fit my business any longer? So I did get to ask a lot of really valuable questions that I think that we often just don't ask after we've started things. And some of the main areas that I dove into were my general tools. We're still on this, but like I'm just getting rid of things that I'm not using. These are not related. They're more general business tools. I went through my course related tools. I changed a whole platform, but I'm still in setup mode on that because I realized that I really needed to get organized before that happened. But we're simplified and I'm really thrilled. I no longer have this monthly holding fee to host my courses. That's really all I was doing with that other platform. We are using Thrivecart, Dropbox, Vimeo as the main bag for holding everything. I do have an episode coming up soon about course organization, so I think you'll really enjoy that related to these tools. I also went through my communication methods. I am keeping ActiveCampaign, but just because I have things already built out in there and it is really a solid platform. But I'm trying out Flowdesk for newsletters and things like that. So we will see. We'll see on that one. With social media, we're going to get back to more automated content, but I wanted to rebuild all of my base messages and keep track of what I'm sharing a bit better. I got super lazy on Meet Edgar, and I swear it was like I was recycling the same messages since 2016 or something crazy. I'm revamping the messages that get repeated and sent out. What's funny though, those launch workbook messages that get shared in various places, I always got signups, so that's a good thing, right? My podcast was going to change the whole branding of the podcast, do a big relaunch, but I'm not even going to do that now because I decided to just shift the focus, get all my podcast episodes up to YouTube, since YouTube now finally has a podcast category and is a priority. That's my priority, and sending people over there to listen, to get those listens and views up on that platform. Even though people will obviously still listen on Apple or Spotify, I'm going to be sending people to YouTube to listen. It's an app just like Apple and Spotify, so hopefully more people will listen over there. Offers, let's see. I definitely went through those. Fearless Launching is done in its original form. Fearless Launching Incubator is something that I built out as like a 12-month coaching program, but it is going to be a super robust, self-paced program to help you launch. And it does much more than just the launching part of it, because it helps you make your products better, helps you improve your launches, really get in there and grow your offers, make sure your systems are working, like really fine tune it. And it's so much more than just the launch aspect of it. Fearless Launching is more of a general term, as you all know, to just getting your ideas out to the world. I've also got some mini products that are brewing, and I'm brainstorming products that I want to help others like you use to help you write your launch emails, to your launch campaign emails, like the pre, the during, and the after. And basically just help you do some things that often get skipped because there's so much else to do on a launch, or you just save for the end and then those things suffer. So stay tuned for those. So the next area that I've been just really diving into is the course and content organization. Now that I've moved multiple times, I finally have everything I need to actually talk to you about course organization and updates and how to sunset a course, how to make sure you have everything cataloged correctly so it's easy to move when you do want to move. So I could keep going, but while the restart has been insanely difficult and challenging, I think it was important to go through all the different areas. One thing I didn't mention here was team, and that is something depending on when the writer's strike ends, which is happening as of this recording, I can definitely see doing another season of a few different shows that I was working on. So we'll see about those, but I want to make sure that I have a team in place to keep everything running, to keep the shop running. And it's just asking all these questions has been insanely inspiring. What's kept me moving forward as well and got me, it's actually funny. I told a friend of mine this, that you would think that what would get me back into action, action would be, I'm going to download some of the more recent free lead magnets and different things and go to some webinars. Nope and nope. Two books that I've most recently finished are one by Laura Belgray, her memoir, Tough Titties, which I think is a great book. It just put me in the right frame of mind to just not take things so seriously like I've done in the past with my business. And then the other book, which was just so inspiring, it's one I've wanted to read for a long time. I saw her, I want to say years ago at this point, on being interviewed by Oprah or something. So that was a really fascinating book. And I wanted to just get back into consuming content, obviously, that's inspiring, that kind of keeps me light, keeps me creative. Right now, I've got a few other more fiction books that I'm reading as well. And of course, in addition to books, I'm going through my old products and courses I've purchased over the years. And I was going to go through some of them more in depth, but I really just wanted to be like, this is where I got inspired initially, but now I want to keep my palate clean, cleansed, whatever you want to say. So instead of that, I went into a newer program where it's not about business. It's not about that like specific strategies, but there are strategies, but they are ones that you can apply to life as well as whatever it is you do as your vocation, whether it's work or a business or you're an artist. And that is Marie Forleo's Time Genius. As of this recording, I know that there's a webinar tomorrow, but most likely when you hear this, it may be closed, it may not be available, but if it is, I'm still going to put the link down below because I want you to hear it. I want you to be able to check it out because it's just such an inspiring program. And it really takes me out of that needing to learn step-by-step business strategies. I really just need to keep myself in line and my mental state and using my time and my energy wisely. So definitely, if you want to know more about that, you can just check the link below. And I don't know if it will be open. I'm a mentor in it, but I don't find out usually until right before. So that's it. It's been a challenging process, but I've welcomed it. It's like this whole gathering information, asking questions. It's like working out after years of not working out. The muscles are there. They remember what to do, but you do have to remind them. You have to show them how good it feels. And you still have to train. You have to train to get back to where you were. And maybe you won't get back there, and maybe that's okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's kind of meandering tell-all about just how to get things back up and running. And perhaps I will do a little bit more organized training for you if you're interested. So do let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer anything about what I've done, what I'm currently doing. There are some technical things that I wasn't expecting to hit a roadblock on. So that's a lot of fun. But that's it for today. That is all I'm going to share with you today. And I want to just say for the record that I am so grateful to be back with this podcast. This was my main thing that I wanted to restart. This is really my only focused project, to come back and to start sharing and start interacting with you and start answering your questions. So that is it for today. That's it for this week. I'll see you Monday for another refocus session, and I hope you have a great one. Thanks so much.